Go 49ers. Do.
How's it going, everybody? We're gonna have a little show tonight. Um, let's go ahead and do this.
Oh, what is up? Bryant, you're muted.
I got Ryan here.
Oh, we having connection issues?
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yep.
You can hear me now? All right, perfect.
Yep.
Maybe it was just my delay. But thanks for everybody coming. I got John here and Ryan here, and the draft is over. So we're going to be talking about who we just got and give a little overview of it, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. So how you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm also good.
I'm a little tired. I feel good.
Yeah.
From what?
The stream we just got off of, we were dedicated there for. If you guys didn't see it, the ways Ryan, John, well, all of us have been nonstop, really going on different streams, and me, Ryan, Joe Stevens, Darwin from Ravens Darwin, we did a live, and we covered the draft for the last 3 days, and it's on our channel, so if you want to go check it out. And then after that, we had a call-in show. That was a lot of fun. Tonight's normally it would be like a coffee show in the morning. It's more of a evening show. So if you guys have something nice to drink, come up, pull up a chair and listen. If you've got questions, and then tomorrow, we'll see what's going on tomorrow. I have a guest coming on tomorrow, but I'm excited because we got some players, guys.
Bro, I'm excited. Let's start with John.
All right, so.
Oh.
Hey, John, you there?
What's going on, Ryan? How you doing, brother?
Oh, what up, Johnny C?
Coming into the panel for one of the first.
So, Brian, that today was good.
We got Johnny C.
I'm very happy with how the draft went. Again, all the 49ers needed to do was what I needed them to do, which was fill needs and get depth. So, honestly, I give them an A-, and then they started signing the undrafted guys that they probably needed on the offensive line, got a couple running backs. So they literally did what I thought they would do. So, again, we happen to develop undrafted running backs pretty well. So, again, just stay healthy, and the rest will take care of itself, especially at quarterback. Again,
which is your favorite tight end?
Kid from Alabama. He's an absolute red zone monster. The guy makes plays in the red zone. So here's the thing, though, and this is why a lot of people were hating on the 49ers, and I don't get the smoke, but yes, we traded a lot of picks for McCaffrey. Was there going to be a second, third, or fourth round pick or a fifth round next year better than Christian McCaffrey? No. Again, I knew Trey wasn't going to be traded. Play the guy, see if he can play. I mean, they're in a better situation quarterback-wise than they were during the NFC Championship game. I never have to worry about Josh Johnson ever playing again, so that's good.
Right.
And even though a lot of people frown upon the kicker, I've been saying the whole offseason they need to address that. And if I had to watch Zane Gonzalez kick for the 49ers, I would have cried.
I I kind of feel you on that one. I did not want to put my trust into him.
No, the guy's toward the league, okay? Here's the thing. Moody
Can you
helps in another.
Can you turn the phone down a little bit? It seems like your phone sound is coming back in the mic.
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, can you still hear us?
Yep.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Moody also helps on kickoffs.
Perfect.
He's going to kick the ball out of the end zone when you don't really have good special teams coverage ever. So that helps there. Again, Ronnie Bell literally is on the team to replace Jennings. I understand the pick, and I'll never question us drafting a linebacker because we develop every single one of them. So,
Do you think, now looking back at it, that the
You
49ers,
broke up a little bit at the end there.
better?
Yeah.
there's a hell of a lag.
I mean, going back through it, I don't know. The only thing I would have probably done different is draft a running back in the 7th round. But other than that, I think they filled enough needs where it was fine. I mean, I might have gone D-end with one of the 3rd round picks instead of when they got the guy from Georgia. But I also think we're probably going to make a move for a defensive end either in free agency or a trade. So it depends on your preference, I guess.
I did it here. You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but other than that, I don't know what else they could have done to improve the team because the DB they drafted, Ludden, that was sneaky because he could jump out of a building and he is a 4'4" guy and he has the right height that I needed for a DB. Honestly, he might be their nickel back. You might have Mooney on one side. And even though I'm still not sold on him, Lenore on the other side. And the nickelback between Womack and the kid from South Alabama is going to be very interesting this year.
What about Quantrez Knight?
Him too. Again, the Niners have a lot of depth. The D winners pick was sneaky, though. Again, I had to look at his film when they picked him, which I did, and I know he balled out in the college football playoff against Michigan. They got a Dre Greenlaw clone in the – what round was it we picked him, Brian? 5th, 6th? When did we get him?
You're talking about D
Winners.
winners, yes. He was the 5th round.
6 rounds.
He was,
K16.
That I wasn't really thinking linebacker. I wasn't thinking linebacker, and then they did it, and then I looked up all of his clips like I did with the safety we got, which the safety is a decade starter in the NFL. Gibson is literally gonna groom this guy for a year, and then the guy's gonna be immediately starting, and he's never gonna be on the bench ever again. I mean, the Niners are consistent on what they draft on defense. They draft ball hawks and thumpers. That's literally what they do, Brian. That's exactly how you're supposed to build a defense. So, again, I don't think our defense took a step back at all. I think they did what they needed to do to replace Jimmy Ward and Mosley. And none of these guys are coming off a torn ACL either. Mosley is. So his effectiveness might be very limited with the Lions. So all in all, Brian, it was a good day for the Niners. Now it's a matter of if Trey can play. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if Trey can, if the Niners,
Hold on, we got an echo. Let's try and get some other people going. Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Can you mute when you're not talking? It seems like it's still coming back in the mic.
Let me.
There we go. Hold on. So Brian, what were you trying to say?
I was just going to elaborate to what he was saying about most definitely if Trey comes out and he's playing good, then this team's going to be right on. Johnny C, I don't know if you have YouTube in the background, but you might want to go on your phone and turn off YouTube in the background and just stream from StreamYard.
I got you.
Because you might have the. It's going to sound 100% better. But while you're doing that, anybody else's opinion on the draft? How do you guys feel? John, you're a little quiet up there. How do you feel about the draft?
Oh, my bad. I was muted.
All right, well, we're gonna come back.
So what's up, John?
So I'm working on my, presentation for my tomorrow show, and I got some information. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'll talk about the safety. I'll talk about the safety again tomorrow. And so the Niners drafted 9 players. We traded a couple of picks to get them. Of course, a bunch of surprises. I'll just say that, but I'll just talk about the safety because I'm a huge safety guy. I love the safety position. Damn it. Brown from Penn State. I really, really liked him. I did a lot of film on him versus a lot of the other safeties. I didn't do a lot of film on Branch, but I really like Brown. The guy's a ball hawk. Cover one. He does a lot of cover one. He can be like a mixture of different types. Like basically, he's like a Ufunga. Best way to describe him. I don't want to bore everybody with the term. One of the things that also happened to him that happened to Ufunga was his 40 time. He had a very bad 40 time, but when he plays on the field like game speed, he's very quick and fast. There's a lot of things. I'm going to read his weaknesses. I'm not going to read his strengths because I'll talk more about him. One of the things that he does have to do is work on his movement. Sometimes he is inconsistent the way he moves, his footwork. Sometimes it says also he has issues sometimes committing to some of the plays that he has to clean up. I'm not worried about that because Steve Wilkes is a DB specialist. He sometimes gets tricked by quarterbacks with pump fakes. So he has to learn how to read the quarterback and not jump, on the first read. Because if it's a pump fake, he can leave a receiver or a offensive weapon wide open. Sometimes he has issues inconsistent with his routes. Route. So basically, like those route runs that the receiver. So he has to clean that up But besides all of that he will clean up. I like the safety. And then, of course, I look at, Jake Moody. Hopefully he cleans up the issues that he had in college. I'll talk about that tomorrow. But I don't know if he broke the record, but he has the longest streak at 148 attempted field goals made. So I don't know if that's an NCAA record. And when you make 148 extra points in a row and you don't miss any, that says something about Jake Moody. Of course, the tight end. I don't know too much about him. I didn't do a lot of scouting, but I hear good things about him. I don't know a lot about the corner we drafted from
Were you
South
talking about
Alabama.
Latu, or are you talking about Braden Willis?
Latu.
Let's not go through every player. We were talking about. Let's go and get David. He's going to come on into the show, and then we're just kind of like we're gonna go over everything. But let's get David in for.
Mm-hmm. So that's my thoughts on some of the players we drafted on day
Thank you,
one.
David.
What's going on,
Thank
fellas?
you, David, very much for waiting. No, you're good. How you doing today, David?
I'm all right. I was just
How you doing?
well,
Bro.
my can you hear me?
He's got a hell of a lag. He should probably reset because he's not hearing anybody.
I can hear you guys just fine.
I know you can. It just seems like Brian's behind by his asking you if everything's how you're doing 3 times.
All right.
So what's up?
Well, either way, I'm doing okay. But I mean, our draft picks, I'm not hating on any of them. The number one thing is they all have to make the team. You know what I mean? And that all of them, it's included in all of them. Jake Moody has to compete with Gonzalez, Braden Willis, and Latu. They have to compete with Kittle, Warner, and Dwelly, which at this point Dwelly could be a jobless tight end.
I think
walking
he is
right now.
The writing's on the wall. I think.
Yeah. I hear Walmart's hiring for greeters, but
Shit, he's better than that. He probably got his education, bruh.
Let's. I'm gonna unmute Johnny and see if his mic's better. And I got.
Is that a little bit better, Brian?
Yeah, Johnny. I don't think when you talk,
Bad when we
it
talk.
sounds better.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let me try and reset this, and then I'll be back. All right.
Sounds good.
So mute him as he resets. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, they all have to make the NFL roster, whether they all have to compete with the NFL players. Gonzalez is a good kicker. Before his injury issues last year, he was a really good kicker in the NFL. So that might get interesting. The defensive end, I mean, he doesn't have high sack numbers. But size-wise, he kind of reminds me of Samson Ebukam. And, the physical traits and everything he has, he kind of reminds me of Samson Ebukam. So, he should be an okay rotational piece, but that also depends on if he makes the team. I haven't seen our rookie free agents that we've signed. I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't been able to look into it. I'm excited about Braden Willis. He seems like a guy who could turn out kind of like a George Kittle. It seems like he's looking for contact. It looks like he's always looking for yak. He doesn't shy away from anything. He wants to, it seems like he's looking for the hit more than he's looking for the extra yard, because it's almost like he's like a UFC fighter who's kind of got to sell the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to make it a show. You know what I'm saying? Like Khabib, did he do anything like as far as wrestling pretty much his whole career? No, until he was really injured that last match. He was doing stand-up because that's flashy. Everybody likes that. You know what I'm saying? This is what this guy does. But he can always, twist your leg and tap you out when he needs to, when you're hurt. And this is that. I need to make sure we win. Oh yeah, we're gonna just tap you out real quick. Yeah. That's why you never saw him wrestle ever, is because he was the best wrestler. He could have beat everybody in like no time flat, but he made his fights exciting, which made him get more money, which it's crazy. Shout out to Khabib. He could have fucked anybody up.
Well, I have some pictures of the guys that we drafted, so I'm going to start pulling them up. I'm going to delete my undrafted free agent list. I think that might be slowing me down, but let's go ahead and remove that. I'm gonna remove it altogether. I'll bring it up real quick. You might be able to see it. It's a little small. Yeah, we're gonna just get rid of this altogether. I think that might be slowing me down. And then here we go for the pictures, guys. All right. I got the pictures of our guys. So here's J.I.R.E. And I apologize. I'm going to pronounce their names as best as I can. I'll learn their names. That's J.I.R.E. That's our first pick in the draft. Here's Jake Moody. He's a kicker. Here's our next. This is what our tight end, I believe it is. Cameron. I'll show you a picture of him.
Cameron Lott.
Then we have, Lot 2. He's going to have a fun name to say. Lot 2.
Law 2.
Law 2. And then we have Robert Beal. He's going to be coming in right now. Okay, and he is a defensive lineman. Then we have D. Winters. D. Winters was pick 216. He's a linebacker. Okay. We got Braden Willis. He's a tight end.
Right here. This is my guy right here.
What do you like about him?
He's nitty gritty, bro. So our Cameron Latu, he looks more like I see like a more of a Travis Kelce in him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to be nasty split out. Not to say that he can't be on the line, but Braden Willis could be on the line. Once he gets his NFL body, he's probably going to be a rumbler on the line. He'll probably be able to toss some defensive ends, especially with a guy like George Kittle in the room and like competing. Christ.
Hey, this guy played a lot. He played a lot in the backfield like a fullback. He split out into the slot. You know, this guy is very versatile. And I'm honestly thinking this could be Juice's replacement.
Interesting. So he's a tight end, but if he plays out of the backfield, I could see that. He had a career of 58 games. He's had 75 receptions, 998 yards. He had 13 touchdowns. So he averages 13.3 yards a game, a catch. So, if you're 13, that's more than 10. That's a first down every time they throw the ball to you. So I like him too. The next guy we're going to move on to is Daryl Lutter Jr. Okay.
Yep. People are talking him up like John C. here.
Yeah. He's a cornerback, and he's going to be a solid player for us. And here we got Ronnie Bell coming in. I'm pretty hyped up about this guy. I think it's funny that we just keep getting Michigan players after Harbaugh goes there now. It's maybe he's just like funneling us players now. It's kind of neat to me to think like that.
I like him too.
He played 47 games, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
145 receptions, 2,269 yards, 9 touchdowns. That was just last year. 14 games in 2022, 62 receptions, 889 yards, 4 touchdowns. So it seems like they started feeding him more and more, and he started, catching the ball, more yards and touchdowns. So that's really impressive there.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately in his red shirt sophomore season, he got hurt and didn't play. So that kind of hurt him. But then the last 2 years, because he's a redshirt player, so he was on the team for five seasons.
Yeah, and see, I think that's what they're looking for. That's a good point to bring up, John. I think they're looking for people that have like a little bit more game experience. You could still come in as a rookie in the NFL and be, rusty, but I think they're just looking for maybe a little bit more football experience. And then our final guy is Jalen Graham. I'm going to bring him up right now. He's a linebacker. And this was our 9 guys that we selected out of the draft. So we got him at pick 255, and he's from Purdue. If you guys know, you know about Purdue. And he has 2 defensive touchdowns. He had fumble recovery. The guy had 12.5 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 forced fumbles in that time. It's looking like we might have a guy that can be plug and play here. A linebacker that doesn't necessarily have to play right now, but might be able to step in, and somebody like Fred Warner might be able to lean on this guy or have him, underneath his wingspan and say, hey, show him the ropes.
Hmm.
So what are you guys' thoughts on our draft at this point?
Thoughts or grades? What are we doing?
Overall,
Well, I don't do grades because really can't tell anything till it hit the field and develop,
Mm-hmm.
That's just, how it is. You don't know what you have until they actually play. And
Yeah.
then, it could even take them a season or 2 to actually develop into what they're going to be.
Yeah.
So, like Kinlaw, I wasn't willing to call him a bust until this offseason.
Yeah.
But that guy is a certified bust. He, can't stay healthy.
Yeah. And that's the thing about every draft pick, that like they could have the best collegiate career, but the funny thing about it is for those who have watched college football as long as me, there's a reason why the Heisman Trophy winner, very rare, very, very rare, have long-term success, because when they transition, like they were the best on the field at every college, but then when they go to the NFL, like they say, oh yeah, I'm really good, I got this trophy, and then they learn that in the NFL, it's kind of weird how the day three players are the ones who are more hungrier. That's why round 1 and round 2, if you're lucky to get one of those good players that developed, good for you, great prospect. But there's been so many great players that have done so well, and then for whatever they have not transitioned. And I was reading an article today, and because I don't want to cause problems, but apparently in 2016, so I was wrong, a kicker was drafted in the 3rd round, but they were drafted much, much earlier, not where Jake Moody was. And they're saying that I don't know what's his name, but he played with the Buccaneers, saying that he's a bust now. And even though I was hard on him, I'm like, dude, I want to see him play. I'm not going to call him a bust just because the last 7 kickers who were drafted in the 3rd and 4th round, didn't do really well. Like you can't do that. Maybe they were in bad situations. Maybe they were hurt, yada, yada. And so you're having a lot of these writers. And again, I'm not going to lie. I was angry. I'm still a little bit holding my breath and see what happens this season down the road. But I'm not going to call Jake Moody a bust just because I felt he was a bit of an overreach. He's on the Niners. I'm gonna support him. So, but I think the Niners will help him get better with the long distance issue. I do think our special teams coach will help him. They said he also worked with Robbie Gould. That's a good teacher. So try to look at some positives. But at the end of the day, just like David McNiner said, the safety has to earn the job spot. The kicker has to earn a job spot. The tight end from Alabama and all the players that we drafted today have to still earn their roster spot.
Yeah, totally agree. What do you think, David? How you felt?
I think I kind of think I'm wondering why we didn't take an offensive lineman, but then I watched the press conference with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, and then, there's old Grant asking them about it. And they straight up said it just, all the guys we liked were gone. It was like, oh, really? Like, earlier in the draft, all the guys they like are gone. So don't be surprised if next season we're taking on offensive line with our first couple picks.
It's like all the good people were gone, even though there was a second run of tackles. Not to say that, like, not to say that they should have done anything different, but you're mean to tell me at 99, 101, there was nobody that you liked. Now,
that's
saying,
John Lynch. That's John Lynch. I watched the press conference.
Them saying
John
they can't.
Lynch said,
right.
Yeah.
I got you. I understand. I watched the same thing. But I'm just saying, like, are you telling me that at 99, there was nobody there that you liked? I think that's BS. I think at 99, there was nobody there that you liked as much as the players you got there. And I think that would have been more honest to say. Now at 155,
I'm with that.
Let's say 155. What, Blake Freeland was still on the board, I think. Right?
Mhm.
Pretty sure he was. And we went edge. And I was like, oh, that's like, really, you didn't like Blake Freeland more than the edge? So that's where I'm like, where at what point did somebody become less important than Blake, somebody like a Blake Freeland? And where did he have to fall for you to take him? You know what I mean? Or, for you to take anybody, because there was options there at some point. And it seems like they just prioritize different positions over it. And then you turn around and use we didn't like anybody as a scapegoat, because it's a half true. Because by the time they got to somewhere where they're like, we could go on a tackle, they looked around and they're like, there's no tackles we want. It's probably in the 6th or the 7th round.
I am in complete agreement with you guys. I would have thought taking right tackle, first or second or even third pick. I thought, kicker, we all joked. I said kicker would be great. It'd be awesome. Like, why not, right? Go after and get the guy you want. I wasn't expecting them to listen to me. I thought they were going to take like a tight end or a right tackle, or maybe, I don't know, a defensive tackle. Those are my 3 legitimate picks. I thought it would be funny, very funny, if they took a kicker or a running back. Well, they almost did both. And then I thought it'd be funny if they took a quarterback. And I think they were going to take a quarterback. And I think the quarterback they wanted got taken. So they moved off of that as well. But if you look at the draft, they moved up to get a safety, because their safety that we have probably won't be here next year. He was contemplating retirement, and they're trying to get younger at the position. This is a safety that could be in the league for 10 years. This could be a very good safety.
Blake Freeland was taken at 106 by the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh yeah, I remember. Like,
I just googled it because I wanted to.
We were on Corey Street. Remember when I blew up Blake Freeland?
Well, I remember I came in and it said it on the thing. Break free and take him.
And then I want to say to the Patriots, darn you taking Chad Ryland. But whatever, good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, they were going to move up. Move up.
So,
Los Angeles Rams took my Travis Hodgins Tomlinson.
So maybe the Patriots were like, "Hey, Niners, we like that Moody guy," and they're like, "We're not going to." No, I'll stop. I'm just trying to be funny.
Makes you wonder if Bill Belichick and Kyle Shanahan have some sort of relationship going on there. Because
well, to me, you know what that said? To me, that was like confirmation that somebody was going to pick up Moody, early, and that Kyle and John grabbing him at 99 essentially tipped nobody off to moving down to try and, get in the better range. They didn't tip anybody off by doing that or moving up. They just stayed where they were, and they used that pick like it was the 1st and the 4th round, which is essentially, acceptable to draft a kicker. You know what I mean? And they just use it as like a sneak move, I guess you could say. Even though we don't look at it and go, oh, that's not sneaky. That's just picking a guy where you're at. Well, if you're thinking that that's still a 3rd round pick and you have to move down to get some capital, maybe a 7th round pick, to move down and still get in the same position to grab Moody before somebody else does. And maybe they know that the Patriots are sitting there. They didn't move up. Patriots didn't move up. As far as I know, they grab the kicker right where they were at. So it might have been the Patriots were looking to move up or talked about getting a kicker, and the 49ers just said, we're getting him at 99. That's my thought.
The Patriots took a kicker and a punter in
Yeah,
the draft.
Yes,
back to
they
back.
did.
Oh,
I think
well,
I don't
they
know if
got
it was
the
back to
kicker.
back, but it was
they got the kicker, and then the thing in the 6th round.
in the 6th round, but it was like I think they had a 5th before that. But
Yeah.
I think it was the first time any team had taken a punter and a kicker in the same draft. I think I heard that.
It happened before, but it's been a while.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The Raiders did it. The Raiders did it with Shane Leckler and Janikowski.
Mhm.
Oh, I could see Raiders doing it. Yeah, I think it was them, the Patriots getting a kicker there. I think it just confirmed that the 49ers were kind of right to get Moody where if they wanted to get Moody, and that was like who they had to have, then to me it's the right move. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's like 15 picks too early of where the Patriots took a kicker, you're talking about you didn't have to spend any capital to move anywhere. You didn't have to do anything. You just picked him where you were. He was there where you were at. You know what I mean? They were saying that they thought somebody might have moved up between 100 to grab him.
Yeah.
So to me, that's amazing. Like how come they couldn't get to 98? Who was cock blocking them at 98? Like, nah.
It was the Browns, I think.
Oh, okay.
Browns or Bengals, one of those teams.
They were cock blocking for us or something like that.
And the Browns, no, it was the Bengals moved down. So they moved down because I don't know. I think they didn't want nobody there. So, and I was saying this, that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I just want to cut in real quick. The Patriots did do some trading this weekend. They traded with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they swapped their first round picks, and they acquired the Pittsburgh Steelers pick at 120. They were going to take Moody at 120. That's why the Niners didn't go off on taking him at 155.
Gotcha. So if that was their big move, that they had to get this guy out of, everybody, whatever, to me, it was smart and it worked out. Okay. Now it's just the move of getting him. Now will the player work out? We'll see. You know what I mean? I'm hoping we just invested a good pick in him. So I'm hoping he's going to be amazing.
I'm going to say it was the move we made, but this guy better be good. That's one thing. He better be good. I want to see him hitting 51-yard kicks consistently. You know what I mean?
Consistently. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want 60-yarders in playoff games if need be. You know what I'm saying? Like, crunch time. You know what I'm saying? High pressure situations. I want a 60 if we need it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to always just go, oh, hey, we're 60. We don't need to get any more. Just put them in it. No. If push comes to shove, we need them 3 points. It's a tough, hard-fought game. You got to get us those 3 points, Jake. All I'm saying. That's what I need out of you. Yeah. We haven't had that before. We've always had to gut it up and do some other things. It usually stalls out a drive. We can't get another 10 yards. We're out of range with our old kicker, Robbie Gould. If you could be the guy who could who could snipe from 50 to 60 yards back, bro, we won't ever talk about this shit ever again. I promise. Right?
So,
right, guys? Can we agree on that?
Right.
Right.
So I want to point out something, and it wasn't said great yesterday, but when the Patriots drafted Chad Ryland from Maryland, I was like, and then I started to realize something that, because I'm not gonna lie, I was heated yesterday. I'm still a little bit like I'm still trying to, get myself in the calm head. But then I'm like, I knew it. There were teams calling the Niners, and the Patriots were like, hey, we kind of like someone, and we want to know. And the Niners were like, well, we're probably going to take something, that we really need. And the Patriots like, all right, whatever. And then maybe they were like, all right, we were going to take a kicker, and then the Niners were like, "Hey, this is probably going to be ridiculous. We're probably going to get laughed at. Let's draft this kid from Michigan. Let's just draft him. Let's, like try to make it seem like that, because in my mind, I think the Niners were like a little bit afraid, and I'm not trying to say that, that John Lynch and were scared to let him go. I just think that, just like that term, it's better to be safe than sorry. Than hey, you know what? Let's let him drop. He's a kicker. They're not going to get him until like maybe the 5th round. We'll be okay. Maybe they were planning on getting Moody at 155, but then they were like, you know what? Let's just get him right now. It is what it is. So I just wanted to just explain that a little bit more better than I tried to yesterday.
I have a question. Do you guys think that Jake Moody would have been their most kind of researched draft prospect if they were going to pick him at 9, if they planned on picking him somewhere around 99? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think they were like, we got to make sure this is really the guy? Or do you think they just, they heard from everybody else, he's the guy, and then they just go, yeah, it's our guy, and we need to now plan for how we're going to take him? Or do you think they unbiasedly put on the tape and just were like, this is the guy. This is totally the fucking guy. What's your thoughts?
I mean, when it comes to the research our guys do, they probably do more research on the guys that are going to be available in the later rounds than they do on the earlier rounds. But I don't know, it's like you have to research everybody that you're going to draft. And the Niners, we're all about getting good players that have good character too, And minus Reuben Foster, that was a valuable lesson these guys learned, and I don't think they'll ever like that again.
It's probably made them so particular that other good players have missed the mark because he's, he's messed them up so much. They're so scarred. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're like, we're not even going to take the chance. We're just going to look back. Slide.
Remember what happened last time? Can't fool us.
Outside linebacker. I was looking at.
You're muted.
So Andre the Carter II signed with the Vikings, undrafted free agent.
Yeah, I'm sad.
Dang it, Niners! You should have signed him. Come on.
I thought he was gonna be drafted, but it happens.
We picked up a fullback linebacker, a Jack Coletto. We got a running back in Ronald Awatt, something like that, Awatt. And then there's Callan, Khalan. I'm probably messing that up. LeBourne. And he's a running back. We also got a Deshaun Jameson, a defensive back. A Jadakiss Bonds. That was one of my favorites. We got a Jadakiss, bruh. Jadakiss Bonds. Spencer. Oh, this guy is a guy I think I want to look at. Spencer Waege. Waege. Spencer Waege. He's from North Dakota State University. He seems like an ornery bugger on the defensive line. And I like me an ornery bugger on the defensive line.
I think I'll call him Wedgie. Wedgie.
Yeah. Look him up. I spelt his name so you could write that down, David, because I thought you might want to look him up. He seems like he's not a thick boy, but he's an ornery bugger. He reminds me of like a skinny cowboy. And he's trying to put a mark on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to make you leave looking different than you came forever.
Spencer.
Waege. North Dakota State University.
So I was talking to Johnny, and when he first came in, he was telling us about some of the undrafted free agents. The only one that I've been able to pull up right now shows that we have one, but I don't think that's right. And it's saying Joey Fisher, outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Yep, Joey Fisher. We also got a Shea Watt, wide receiver. Avery Young, defensive back. We got a Elam Manning, ILM Manning. He's an he's an offensive lineman. I think he might be a guard. I'm not sure. He might be a tackle. We got Corey Luciano, who's a center.
Okay.
Those are the ones that I was able to write down. And that's shout out to Raj from our San Francisco 49ers. He was the one who was tweeting that. So if you want to go back and see any of these, just go to Raj's page and go check all his tweets, and you'll see everything from the last like hour and a half has just been nothing but free agent signings.
Oh, the Niners got a player, wide receiver, Bonds from the HBU.
Jadakiss. From the Locks.
Yep. And then the Oregon fullback, and then they got Marshall running back, the North Dakota State defensive line player, someone from Texas, UTEP, Rutgers, Washington. Ooh, from Hawaii. Shout out to the Hawaiians. Aloha mahalo to them.
That's the Elam Manning is the guy from Hawaii. Elam. I-L.
Oh, that offensive line from Shepherd, that school, I've never heard of it. Don't know too much about him.
Was it the Joey Fisher or the Luciano?
Hold on. Joey Fisher. Yeah. Joey Fisher.
Yeah, I didn't have
He
room to write down the
he
schools.
bench pressed 40 times at the Underwear Olympics.
Wow.
Strong.
Damn. 40. Jeez, I think the most I can lift is like 10 reps. I'm weak.
He ran a 4.90, so
God damn.
quick.
God damn.
That's quick
I might
for a
wanna
big fella.
Bro, that's a specimen. I might need to lock him down and have kids with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine the children we could have. I'm joking.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay, guys. I really do. I think the Niners, they drafted players of position of need. I think they believe in their offensive line, and we'll just see. And I think David brings up a good point. There's possibly a good chance next year we're going O-line in the first round. If Trey Lance is the number one quarterback we think he's going to be, then we won't need a quarterback. And
This is the other
we won't
thing.
need receivers and stuff. So we got our tight end.
They might not draft for left tackle. They might just go free agency. They might just find a guy and they're like, this is the best tackle. Or they might even trade. You know what I mean? That might be how they attack it. They might just use the first round pick to trade for a number one left tackle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Kalen LeBourne, Marshall running back, also
Mhm.
signed.
Because that's almost how I would do it. You know what I'm saying? I would try and draft everybody on the line except for left tackle and maybe center when I can get a good guy for a good price. Somebody who wants to like take a hometown discount and be a winner. You know what I mean? But other than that, like, I think you should draft throughout the trenches. And look, you can draft in the trenches for left tackle, but I wouldn't be set in stone having to, prove it to myself that I can do it. If I'm drafting and I don't have a guy who can play left tackle when I need it and time's up and Trent Williams retires, I'm just going to go to free agency and say, fuck it.
that's a good point. At a certain point, free agency is going to be the way out for a lot of people, especially when they're looking for a ring and if they don't believe they're going to get it here. Or, sometimes the money calls you and you go to places where you can get just a little bit more money, especially if, it's going to be like your last season or, you don't even know if you'll finish the whole season. I'm just really excited about our picks this week. The last 3 days we were anticipating to be exciting, and it did. We didn't really have to move around a whole lot. I didn't think we were going to take all 11 picks, but we took enough picks and we used what we needed to do to move up and get what we needed to get. I think the Niners we're looking at Moody. I think somebody else was looking at Moody, and they said we were going to take him before someone else does. And I'm looking forward to seeing if the guy works out for us because I'm pretty excited about him. If we can, potentially get the ball on like the 45 and only get it to the 50, and we can walk him out there and kick the game-winning field goal, it's going to be a game changer. Because right now, Robbie's only good at like 45, 50. This guy's good at 61. So,
When
61.
it comes to last season, Robbie was good as gold from about 40 yards in. 40 yards out, he wasn't very reliable. But
Except in
what
the
I'm
playoffs.
looking at is a lot of these guys, the defensive backs, the linebackers, even the tight ends. Like Latu played linebacker his first 2 seasons, and then he switched to tight end his last 2 seasons because he has really good hand. So I'm honestly looking at our special teams coverage unit. We were in the bottom section of the league when it comes to our special teams coverage unit last year. Now we have a bunch of guys that can tackle. So makes me wonder if a lot of these draft picks were to just strictly fix that unit and then, develop them moving forward.
And if you look at Braden Willis's tape, like I was explaining earlier, he likes to hit people. So if you got him on special teams along with Latu, who used to play linebacker, you know what I'm saying? Like those 2 guys are going to want to put a mark on people too. You know what I'm saying? We might have a really nasty special teams this year. Like John Jay said, he thinks we drafted for special teams this year. I don't think that was their 100% goal in mind. But what I think is a lot of these guys aren't going to be starters. But how do you stay on the team? How do you suit up during games? Is you're the next man up, but you also play special teams. And I think he's totally right. This might be a great draft for our special teams because I think we got a lot of bangers here who can perform on special teams until it's their time to step on the field and take a more bigger role in the offense/defense of this team.
Well, on top of that, having a better special teams unit is going to help our defense because it's going to, start the other team in worse field position.
And
which
our
will
offense.
In turn help, exactly. In turn
flip,
help our offense.
field, but mostly the defense. It can really it could times 10 our defense, getting it backed up into a hole every time.
I like it. I really do. I think the team did go out and put some real research into it. Everybody's made some really good points. This whole draft was in the later rounds, so the guys that we are waiting and anticipating to fall to us kind of did fall to us. I think they wanted a quarterback. I think the quarterback that they wanted went a little earlier than they wanted. They weren't willing to go out and put any capital or move up to get a quarterback, so they just stayed put. And we got guys. We got guys that people weren't going for. And why? Why? Because we're looking at the bottom rows. We're not looking at the first or the second. We're looking at the guys in the 6th and 7th. And the one thing that I was hoping, I did want a wide receiver. I wanted the guy from UCLA. I wanted Jake Bobo, but this wide receiver, Ronnie Bell, this guy right here, he looks dedicated. This could be a serious cat right here. And if he can contribute on special teams, then he's going to definitely make the roster.
Have you watched this tape?
I've seen a little bit of highlights, just a couple of highlights of this guy.
He's got some Debo to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he does have some Debo-esque properties. They ran him in sweeps, but it seems like he's really good at. I haven't seen him use his blockers well, because I haven't gone really in depth yet. From his highlight reels, he seems like, how some. No, he doesn't know how. From what I have seen is he's not like he's moving defenses into his blockers, but it seems like he can find the plan, the route through it. He can see the field. It's kind of like that Debo vision. You know what I mean? It's not like how running backs will kind of take a certain step one way to draw a defender into a block from another person he doesn't really see at that moment. Or stall him out one way to make it so his other guy can kind of get more in position and then he'll cut it up the other way.
Mhm.
I haven't seen him do that yet, but I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying
Yes.
it. What I've seen is that he knows the line to take. He's
Mhm.
got a great line,
Yeah.
and
So
he's quick. So I think he could be another Debo.
yeah. So basically, one of the things that I like that I looked at was run blocking, a wide receiver who can run block. Where have we heard that
This
so
guy.
many times? That Shanahan likes receivers and tight ends that can block. That's one of the things that I really liked from him. And you said it perfectly. Like a lot of his stuff is like where the Michigan quarterback would drop back, fake a deep throw, and then see him still there, throw it, and he would use his legs to basically run down the field. He's a like a Jawan Jennings, like a third and Jennings. So basically, he can block, he can stay back in the field, like those screen passes. It's just unfortunately, I thought it was 2020. In 2021, he had an ACL tear, and he was supposed to come out early, but he went back, got healthy, had a good year. Unfortunately, because his injury concern, a lot of players don't really like receivers to play that style. But luckily, our head coach was like, "Hey, I like Debo receiver, so he's down here. A lot of teams passed up on him. He had a 4th-round grade, and I like him a lot. But he's also a good special teams guy. He played special teams, so that's why I was like, wait a second. These receivers have special teams talent. This cornerback that we drafted from South Alabama has special teams. We drafted a kicker a little bit early, in my opinion, but a person who could score points in the kicking game. So I'm like, I think we're going special teams, and so maybe as day 3 went by, I kind of calmed myself down, but I just really hope, and I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I want the kid to succeed, but I just don't want to be right. I hate being right because I don't want to tell people I told you so. So I hope I'm wrong. I would rather be wrong and take the L than be right and be like a ego guy. I just want the team to win any type of way, get the W.
I think the most interesting thing is we didn't take an offensive lineman at
Yeah.
all.
Bro. I thought look, seriously, I thought you two, you and John were gonna be like livid as hell. I was like, to me, I'm like, I was bewildered. You know what I'm saying? Like not mad, but just like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, at no point, at no point, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, maybe not
Mhm.
taking them with 99, 101 and 102. Look, I could look past that, but really nobody. You went undrafted free agent. Okay. All right. Look, the guy better be in the room.
Mhm.
The guy
I know
better be
because
in the room.
the they only like answered. Well, John answered just one time about Zakale. He said that during last year they worked him at right guard, left guard, and some center, and they're very high on Zakale. So maybe they drafted him to be either a backup to Burford, and he says that maybe if Brendo we could try him out in the center in the preseason. We got Feliciano who can play like all 5 positions, so he can play some right guard. I mean right tackle, left tackle in the middle. So maybe they got 2 people that are more confident to be the backups in the interior. And I think they like Colton McKivitz a little bit too much. He's had some, some moments, but I'm not going to crown him yet. Trent Williams is, Trent Williams for a reason. So I think they were like, hey, we're okay. Let's not. And we have depth, and they still got Jason Poe. They got the Mexican guy. What's his name? Gutierrez.
Gutierrez,
They're like,
yes.
they're like, let's see what we have instead of drafting. Let's see what we have.
I agree. They gotta use the guys that they have on the team. You know, it doesn't make sense to have these guys suiting up and they're never gonna get a shot, right? So this guy's already got his name on the back of a jersey. Let's see what he's gonna do. And I think Gutierrez, the way he is structured to our team, I don't think he hurts us as far as cap or the roster. I think he's like an uncounted roster guy, if I'm right. I don't think he. I don't know how that necessarily works, but I don't believe he's really counted against our roster. He's almost like a fancy roster practice squad player.
Yeah. So
So
yeah, the international role players have an exemption. So basically, each team is allowed to keep one international player that doesn't go with yours. So say they want to put him in the practice squad, he doesn't have to go through waivers, and he basically takes a international practice squad. Or if he's on IR, the international player can be there for the entire season, healing up if you have a player that's hurt, or they can suit up but they can't take the field. So like it's a very weird rule, and it benefits us or benefits teams. So shout out to that rule. A free player that doesn't go through any of our rosters.
Man, I would love to see Gutierrez take the spot and just maul people, though. He is freaking huge.
I was angry when they did not give him like one snap, just like in front of his country, his homeland. So, but the next time
yeah,
we're in Mexico,
they should have let him do something. And they had a documentary. It was a really cool documentary about the Cardinals, the first Mexico game, and they came running out with the flag, the Mexico flag, and they got the crowd pumping. This year, we ran out with the Mexican flag and we got the crowd pumping, but they still should have let that guy play at least one snap.
yeah, he was crying when they played his anthem from his homeland. So it meant it even though he wasn't playing, it meant a lot for that kid.
So we got a couple offensive linemen, Johnny said. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
What are we supposed to do for the next 4 months? There are only so many trivia questions. I love it, Randy. We'll figure something out.
Hey, Corey has a thick book. We'll be all right.
Yeah. Basically, I think he said there's like 16 chapters, so we should be good for the next 8 weeks. And by the time 8 weeks from now, it'll probably be like around early July. So
I question that book a little bit. Sometimes we got some questions, and yep.
It's not all 49ers, but
I gotta tell you guys, thanks for coming on. We can go longer if you guys want to go longer. I really am having fun. But as far as the draft, I think if I was to grade it right now, I would say a good B, a solid B would be good. We can come back in a year from now and revisit it and say, oh, is this player still in the league or not? But at this point, I think we got players that are going to be able to develop on this team. And I think we got legitimate starters. I really do. Guys that will be able to be on our team for several years to come. They upgraded the safety. They upgraded the corner. We don't ever do that. And so for them to do that this draft, which is awesome, it's like, wow, because we always go defensive tackle. We always go edge, right? We don't. I don't know. So for me, I'm very excited because this is not a wasted wide receiver. These are different players spread out around the board. They did get a wide receiver, but it's not that big of a high risk reward thing with him either. So if he does turn out to be a Devo, then they're going to be geniuses. Look at him. They've taken another guy way later in the rounds, and he worked out for us. So,
like for me, when I grade, like I do 2 grades: the potential that they were in college, what they did, how a standout, how underrated they were in their school, and of course, the pick risk reward. And so, as of this moment, the safety was, a good pick, good college experience, had 10 career interceptions. I think he had almost 20 interceptions in his whole 4 years. Pretty good. Playing in a tough conference, with Michigan and Ohio State. Um, Penn State at one point used to be like a powerhouse until that scandal that they had a long time ago. But good pick, risk reward. I will grade the risk reward as pretty good. I'm not gonna say A, B, C, or D, but I give it a good pick. Jake Moody, I see some Robbie Gold in him. Like there's some things that you can clean up with the kid. I'll be completely honest. He's not perfect. He's not the best, but he can do something. 148 kicks in a row for extra points.
Seems like somebody was asked, what kind of person he is, and he said he is all about the business. In other words, it seems like he's got the mindset of an avid pro kicker right now. Like everything has to be the same. You know what I mean? Like he just does, everything perfect every single time to try and replicate it. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm happy about hearing that.
Yeah. Hopefully, like the person who's the coach that tells, how to kick, or, whoever is going to be his coach, they got to work on his distance. So I think one of the things in this offseason to see if he can clean that up, because he like Robbie Gold's much older, more experienced. He's young. I think he's 23, 24, so he's young. So there's wiggle room, but hopefully they can clean that up, because like if he's like knocking the 39-yard field goals, just like the scouting reports, all his coaches, that one of the things that now he's known for that big field goal in the conference in the championship playoff series, kicking the ball that far in a game like that, you're gonna get praised, but take away that game and his body of work, he did have issues in the 40 yards and the 50 yards. And also one thing I learned, I don't know, Brian, if you know this, what's the difference from kicking in the hashes? Because they said that on the left hash, he does better, but when he was kicking on the right hash, he would botch it sometimes. So I don't know what a kicker has to do to fix that. So that's a little bit of a scary thing. I know in college, some kickers are more better at the right hash versus the left. So, but
it's a preference. It's a preference thing. So if there's an opportunity for them to tell the players, when they're before the kicker comes out, they can say, "Hey, get to the right," then they'll try to do that. But it's when the kicker has to line up, he might have to just angle himself a little bit differently. A lot of kickers like to come out like in an L and do like a swing kick, where a lot of kickers used to just run straight on. So sometimes when you run straight on, you still kind of ran at an angle. So it depends on the kicker. And a lot of kickers now are kicking with the top of their foot and not their toes anymore. So this guy looks legit. There's a field goal video of him just kicking straight, and he wasn't missing. So I'm excited. I know nobody rushing on you. You shouldn't be missing either, right? But I think he's the real deal, and that's why I think the Niners moved for him, because the Patriots were going to take him. There was 3 or 4 kickers taken in this draft, so I definitely see that there was a need for it. And our guy Robbie Gold, for whatever reason, still not signed. So I'd hate to see him go to Dallas, but I think that's what might happen to him. Gold has no agent anymore. Just one.
If I was Robbie, I would retire. I'd be like, nah, I can't go to the Cowboys. I'd rather just not make money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I guess he doesn't have that. He's a Bears fan, but I'm sorry if you're on the 49ers. Well, I can't say that because other 49ers have gone over the Cowboys like Marquez busters before in their careers. So Haley doesn't count. He was traded. Our stupid asses did that shit to ourselves.
Oh man.
You know what
Shout
I'm
out
saying?
to Terradome for telling us those great stories.
Yeah, Pterodame's a vast knowledge, man.
When Ronnie Lott names his daughter after a man, you don't just like go and trade that dude away. I'm just saying.
Wow. All right. So we got Jake Moody. The Patriots got Chad Ryland, and the Packers drafted Anders Carlson.
Yeah. And then I think a few punters also came off the board.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't like, but basically like
definitely one.
I don't like basically after the 4th round, the 5th and 6th, 7th round, it just like the pick is in, and then the next first pick is in. It just moves so fast that you don't have time to. That's why, like, usually after the 4th round, I like just zone out and just let the TV run. And then when I see the Niners, I watch the 10 and then I come back. So, but like the first 4 rounds are like very fun to watch.
It was going fun. It was going by, and we were having a lot of fun. And then I think we started getting a little tired, and everybody was over anxious. I think at certain points because we wanted to put our best foot forward, and we all gelled really well. I think we did good, but yeah, I think everybody everybody felt it there. It was like 4 hours, 4.5 hours the first night, 4 and something the next night. Then it was 7
Hours,
and
28 minutes.
Yeah, almost 7.5 hours. So that was a lot of fun. And then Friday we had the call-in show, so that was fun. And yeah, just a lot of fun. So if you guys are out there, we appreciate you in the chat. We're coming here giving our thoughts and stuff. If you guys have thoughts, and you throw them in the chat, we try to read them and get the questions circulating, because sometimes you don't think a certain way, and then someone comes up and says, "Hey, what do you think about that?" And then you start thinking about that, and then it's just something else. And then from there, that's how thoughts are made, right? Everybody shares a story, and stories grow. So appreciate you guys. And now, if you want, we'll go ahead and end this. Because I got a good Friday night. I got a good Saturday night. Everybody, it's still Saturday night. It's nice and warm. Got the girls here at the house, so hopefully everybody enjoyed it. I'm on cloud 9 right now. I think the Niners did great. I'd like to see if Johnny can come back in the chat sometime. He's very smart. He knows the team very well. We just got to get him in, I think, on a better stream. I think initially I don't know if I had a lag because I had another app open. I'm trying to learn how to share the screen so we have a little bit better pictures and stuff to go off of. But again, I appreciate everybody. And before we go, you guys want to say what you're doing the rest of the week or what you might have?
So I want to go first, but I think, Brian, you need to remind all the great people in the chat who are watching, you have a great show tomorrow.
I appreciate that. I really do. I have a show tomorrow in the morning, and it's going to be with my Packer buddy. And I think it's going to be just primarily me and him. And we're going to go over like the Niners and the Packers and the draft overall and go from there. I think he's open for a panel maybe at the end, so I might open up for like a call-in show later the day. But for the most part, it's my buddy, me, and Josh Alvarez, Map. I've known this guy since high school. One of my best friends. He's actually my brother. And we're going to go from there. I have a lot to ask him. I can't wait to ask him about the Aaron Rodgers situation, the Jordan Love, the tight end. They have a tight end now in Green Bay. They have a wide receiver now. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. But go ahead, John.
All right. Of course, thanks for having me on, Brian. Sometimes, it gets heated sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's all love and respect, because that's just what happened. But besides that, tomorrow, I got a show at 11 a.m. I got to check the time. Around 11 a.m. West Coast time, so Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to go through all our great players we got, and I'll probably do some undrafted stuff later in the week because I haven't done any homework on any of those players. So this whole week, I'm just going to be going through all the players, talking about our undrafted players, getting to know them, what they did. But tomorrow, I'm going to basically just look at all their strengths, weaknesses, what they need to be cleaned up, and look at what the Niners did after looking at all the days that we drafted, make an honest assessment, and listen to what the 49er fans, how they feel about the draft, good, positive, ugly, whatever, how they feel. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. And then probably Monday and Tuesday, I'll do the undrafted, and then I'll go from there day by day this week. But thanks for having me on.
Yeah, appreciate it. And yeah, we sometimes, you know, it gets heated, but like I said before, it's to get better clarification of the question or a little bit more intel, or maybe, you know, just to get a little bit more out of you, you know. So I appreciate you, and you know, you're here because you're here. I like you. I hope you like me as well. And you know, sometimes, you know, we don't always agree, but we both are passionate about the team, and that's what's most important. David, what do you got going on?
Well, I got the round check on Monday, which, you know, should be interesting anyway. And then we got the
You seemed unsure there.
yeah, that's exactly it. That's kind of, you know, I like being on the show, but it's just one of those. It's kind of primarily Dion, you know, and CG, and I don't get much word in edgewise, but it's all right.
Gotcha.
You know? But and like I said, I like being on the show. You know, it's an every week thing.
Yeah.
But then we got the 49er trivia. You know, that's always fun. Well, hold on, Corey's on vacation.
Yeah.
So we're probably not
the
doing
2nd
that.
of May.
Oh man, that's something I look forward to too. Trivia, but because it puts all this useless information I have floating in my head to good use. It actually makes it useful, not useless.
Right.
So
Like,
you
it
know.
came in handy finally.
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much it. I mean, Bryant probably hopefully does his coffee Niners talk Saturday morning, and you know, and then we got the No Border Sports Hangout Friday night. That's always a fun one.
Which
So-
it should start changing up a little bit this week. Like this Friday should be like a little we'll start evolving the show into some things.
Sweet.
But yeah.
Well, we'll see what's going on. I'm gonna do the Sunday show again in the morning, and depending on how, you know, long me and my buddy Alvarez Map is on, we'll see the vibes. If we want, you know, if we got a fat chat and there's some people like you guys want to pop in and maybe ask some questions, we could go from there. Maybe, you know, if you guys got something going on this week, maybe we can get together and do a trivia show. I'm pretty sure Tony could come up with some pretty good questions for everybody. But we can look into that. I know Corey does a great trivia show, but I don't want to have a gap either. I'd like to have fun on that. I like looking forward to those days too. Ryan had asked questions the other night on the draft, and you know, I'm answering them, and there's ones I got wrong and ones I got right, and it's always fun because it's like when you get those ones right, you're like, yeah, I know stuff too. So with that, guys, I appreciate everybody coming. Look out for Ryan, No Border Sports, David. We're gonna keep having you on, man. You're great, and I know your YouTube channel is coming around. But not just my show, you know, everybody else's show. When you come on, you bring a really nice aspect to the show, and you know, I'm gonna say I enjoy your opinion, and I think a lot of people do too. So John Jay, if you guys haven't subscribed to him, he's the Ultimate Report. He's gonna have a show tomorrow as well, and look forward to seeing you guys there, hopefully. And with that, guys, go Niners. Glad the draft has come and gone, and look forward to seeing these guys on the field. So with that, we'll look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a great night.
Go 49, go 49ers, and F those Lambs.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.